Following the events at home, the Abbott family now face the terrors of the outside world. Forced to venture into the unknown, they realize the creatures that hunt by sound are not the only threats lurking beyond the sandpath. What's going on, Flicks Talkers? Welcome back to another movie review, this time a spoiler-free review for A Quiet Place Part 2. Now, this film is directed by John Krasinski and it does star Emily Blunt, John Krasinski, Millicent Simmonds, Noah Jupe, and Cillian Murphy, and a quick cameo from Djimon and Hounsou. This film is also PG-13 and has a runtime of 1 hour and 37 minutes. Alright, now once again, this is a spoiler-free review, so if you guys have not seen the film yet, don't fret. I'm not going to talk anything spoilers. I'm going to try to be as vague as possible, but before we do get into it, if you guys do like reviews and content like this, please let me know by hitting that big thumbs up to like the video. It's the best way to support the channel, and make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe and bell notification if you guys aren't already for future content like this. Alright, let's get into my review for A Quiet Place Part 2. Alright, so first up, I am going to go over the pros of A Quiet Place Part 2 by just addressing the fact that this movie leads off directly from A Quiet Place. So I would suggest that you guys need to watch A Quiet Place, the first one. It's an awesome movie. I give it a 5 out of 5. That being said, the movie does open up with a good prequel-esque scene where you kind of find out how these aliens came to be in New York. And that scene is extremely tension based. It had me on the edge of my seat, and it's not much of a spoiler, guys, but that's the only scene that you get to see John Krasinski in. So it is still a mystery where these aliens came from, why they do have an armor shell, kind of the characteristics of the aliens that we kind of knew and grew to understand a little bit from the first movie, that it is all based on sound. Hey, I'm wearing the shirt for a reason. If they hear you, they hunt you. We know it's a sound-based alien invasion type of movie, guys. And it's fair to say, if you have seen the first one, once again, you know by the end of the movie how they can potentially, at least momentarily, be stopped in their tracks. Also, the characters of Regan and Marcus definitely stepped it up in this film. If you guys know the events that happened in the last film, it was time for them to step it up. They are a family unit, and we got to see a lot of that in this film, which I really did appreciate. Usually from kid actors, they don't razzle and dazzle me too much, but we are dealing with some teenage actors that have really seasoned themselves from the first movie, and once again, they stepped it up to show that they are a family unit that is trying to survive in a post-apocalyptic world. And it's kind of hard to say that she's the head of the family because I just said that they really stepped it up, the children involved. But Emily Blunt playing Evelyn, man, she is the mother of the year in this film, guys. She has a newborn that she's also protecting, as well as her other children, but she is just really hell-bent on getting from point A to point B in this film, alongside protecting her family at whatever cost, and they do a really good job of showing that in this short 1 hour 37 minute runtime of the film. Now, next pro, guys, is upping the action from the first movie. We did get to see some good action and conflict scenes from the first movie, but this one amps it up. It's like A Quiet Place 2.0, no pun intended. It is a sequel and it is called Part 2, but they did probably the best example of a sequel that we needed, so that most of us aren't comparing, hey, the first one's better than the second one. I think they really amped it up action-wise as much as they could. Even though this is a sound-based movie, they get put into situations where you know sound is definitely going to be a factor, and the tension is just amped up so much, guys, in this sequel. We can't help but root for the people that we fell in love with in the first film. Also, another big pro was some of the additions to the casting, and I'm talking about Cillian Murphy. Holy crap. This guy has the darkest looking demeanor face on at all times, even when he's not playing a serious character, where when you see him in this film with a really scruffy beard that he hasn't obviously cut in over a year, once you hear his backstory, man, you just believe everything that's said from this man's mouth, that he's had a really traumatic post-apocalyptic story. Not just the Abbott family, but we get to hear his story and some of his involvement with other families that he's encountered encountered over those past 470 some odd days. Also, like I had said previous, we have a cameo from Djimon Hounsou. I thought he was a nice little cameo in addition to the film, guys. I loved him in Blood Diamond, Guardians of the Galaxy, and even his small role in Shazam. And I think most of us were wondering, what is he doing in this trailer? So you do get a little back explanation of his character, of the situation that he's in, once again, living in a post-apocalyptic world where we are living amongst these aliens now for over a year. Next pro would definitely be the alien CGI. I feel like they perfected this thing like the Thanos CGI that we got from Marvel. It looks so damn flawless. When they show a body or a carcass of this alien that's been shot, it looks like it's really there. The practical plus CGI is so on par, guys. I haven't seen any behind the scenes, but I can only imagine that someone created this thing from scratch and they did an amazing job of it looking so realistic. Another plus of mine, but it wasn't a plus watching it in the trailer, was seeing so much of the aliens. I felt like we only got glimpses here and there from the first film, but this one, it's like a full-on attack where we're seeing them, you know, kind of running up the side of buildings or swinging from rafters and whatnot. So it really creates a more menacing environment. And as of right now, you can only see this in theaters, and I was jumping left and right out of my seat, pissing off my girlfriend. But that's what's so cool about horror movies, guys, is experiencing them with others in a dark environment. And we were actually fortunate enough to be greeted by a video message from John Krasinski at the beginning of the film, kind of thanking us for watching his film in theaters and preserving that movie theater experience. Next and final pro is the story. So without alluding to too much spoilers, guys, they do go from their home from the first movie and they explore out, which you do see in the trailer, which definitely does show their involvement with Emmett, played by Cillian Murphy, and how that kind of plays out and them wanting to explore a little more of what's going on in the surrounding area of New York. Remember, we're only focused on New York here. We haven't even tackled the rest of America. So just their rural area outside of New York City, guys. So I thought that was cool because it added the big question mark of who's out there. Are there more survivors? Are there soldiers that have found some more effective ways possibly to kill these aliens? And I got a lot more explanation in this sequel. All right, guys, now jumping to my cons for A Quiet Place Part 2. None. There were absolutely none. This was once again a perfectly edited movie at only 1 hour and 37 minutes. Just like the first one was only about 1 hour and 30 minutes. It was perfectly laid out for you so you're satisfied and not really bored by these characters, by the situation. You just get enough tension, but not too much to where the aliens are overpowering the character development. This movie could be possibly the perfect sequel, guys. And that being said, I'm gonna give A Quiet Place Part 2 a solid and perfect 5 out of 5, guys. Comparing it to the original, which I also gave a 5 out of 5, I believe. I'll have to go back and check. If not, I give these two a solid 5 out of 5, guys. Once again, saying damn. Without giving any spoilers, guys, if they decide to do a Part 3 of A Quiet Place, they have some big shoes to fill. But just leave it at a trilogy. You kind of don't get perfect movies past a trilogy. All right, guys, have you seen A Quiet Place Part 2? Let me know your thoughts down in the description below. And if you guys did appreciate my review and thoughts, please give me a big thumbs up to like the video. It does always help to spread these videos out to those that aren't subscribed. And if you yourself aren't subscribed, consider doing so today and hitting that bell notification. Also, guys, if you are fans of movie and entertainment news, consider subscribing to my social medias down in the description below. All right, guys, till next video, I'm gone. Peace.